So if you guys haven't seen Claudia before, she is great. She's in here a lot. She's in my accelerator group inside Copy Chief. She owns a very successful dog grooming business, is also a freelance copywriter in the pet care industry. And so you always ask such great questions, Claudia. So let's dive into your stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. I was actually wondering because I just finished the third section and I have the templates, but it's like, and I have my outline, but and I did all the work for 1 and 2, but it's like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah, no worries. So let me see if I can pull up those templates. Actually, let's just dive in. Okay, so you've got templates, and if you guys don't know, in lesson 3, there are templates for both a story-based advertorial and a listicle, which are super helpful if you just need like something to start your brain, right? Absolutely. So what I like to do, Claudia, is start with either a story or the lead, right? And so it doesn't necessarily even have to be anything that's directly tied to your offer. You just want an idea to start writing, just like you would write an email to your list or a client's list. So I would start there. Okay. If you can come up with some sort of story. So let's see, what are you writing about today? You want to come up with some ideas?
So I'm going to do some, there's a product out there called, what the hell is it called? It's a pet supplement, and I'm running across a lot of these things that you can just add to food. It's not, we were talking about a couple months ago, we were talking about like the farmer's dog in the front of the pack, and that's actual food. But right. A lot of people, that food can be expensive. So, right. But now a lot of places are putting forth like things you can put on top of the food that they're already getting to kind of right. give them a boost in nutrition. So, there's a couple of those out there. So I wanted to write about one of those. And, I was trying to think that there should be a link to like a good story, or, I have a couple of real stories for like CBD Perfect. And stuff like that. I can think of a ton of client stories that I can like make into a story, but, I don't know is that okay? These were actual things that happened, but I would probably like be not making stuff up, but embellishing them a bit, I guess.
Yeah, I think that
kind of dramatizing it and that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You are sitting on copywriting gold right now because you actually work in this industry. You have these clients and these are real stories. And so absolutely, I would take those stories, and you can change the names if you want to. That's absolutely okay. If you don't want to worry about, I don't know if this person would like me telling their story, totally right. Okay to change the names and make it anonymous. But if you just change the name, then you still have that personal story, right? So if the lady's name is Janet, you still want to have a character. So maybe her name is Sharon in the story or whatever it is. But that way you can still connect with this personal story. And I would dig right into the pain points, because if you ask that person like, is this working? How has that changed? They're going to tell you, oh my God, my dog was bouncing off the wall and now I'm using this thing and I can finally work. I couldn't get a moment's rest before. They're going to tell you their whole story, and you probably already know it, right?
Right, exactly.
So you just take that, and it's absolutely okay to dramatize a little bit. We're not making things up. We're not being unethical here. What we're doing is we're taking it and we're painting a picture. And so we can tell the story in a way that is absolutely true, but makes it a little bit more dramatic, right? It's the same thing like if you're watching a documentary and they put like eerie music with something going on, and someone might have said something fairly innocuous, but you're just like, oh my goodness, because of the scene that they set around it, right?
Okay, yes.
So we're doing the same thing here. So absolutely, if you've got real life stories of people who have changed their lives, their pets' lives with products like this, that is the best place to start. That's the best place to start. Yeah.
Cool. So that would be more of a story base then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's some of the most powerful too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Then, so I just kind of wanted to practice a couple of them.
Yeah.
Just practice, like writing the story and, and then I would follow the template for the story-based advertorial, and just kind of, and I actually made myself a headline too on my notes. Great. So, but I'm like, I'm so like into the production of it that I'm like not sure if I'm starting off correctly. So if I should
Well, here's what I would say to you, because like it is so hard sometimes to try and stick with these templates. The template's just a guide to give you like a structure, right? So for you, I would say throw out the template right now. Just write the story. Just write the story and like just come back around to the offer towards the end where it's like, if you'd also like to try this, or if you're also experiencing this, this is something that's worked really well for me. And I'd love to show you where to check out more, something like, or get more information about it. So I would just say, throw out the template, write the story. You're going to very naturally transition to that offer, and don't worry so much about the rigid structure, because you've got great stories. That's more powerful than any sales structure that you could follow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it. And I know that you're in Copy Chief as well, and that we're an accelerator. Post them in there. Let's look at them. Let's break them down together.
Yeah, awesome. I would love that, because I know that it's like I tend to like say, oh no, I can't say that, and then I don't know what to say. So I don't know if I should just write it all down and just and then and I keep reading that too. Does it write it all down and then just kind of take it away as you need to?
Right. Yeah, I think that's great. For me personally, when I'm writing copy, I either like get into flow and just like tell this whole story, and then sometimes at the end be like, oh, I have to figure out how to actually connect this back to the thing that I want to promote. And sometimes that's even better, because it only takes one sentence to say like, and if you also ... then it's like you can do that quite easily. Coming up with the good story is the hardest part. So if you've got that, that's the hard part. And you
helped a lot in the third section when you said that the first draft is super ugly.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, thank God,
Yes. Oh, mine are so bad. Sometimes like this morning I sat down and tried to write an email to my podcast list, and I was just like not in the mood. So I just literally took like pieces of chunks of conversations that I've had, put them all on the page, and then started like assembling them like some Frankenstein puzzle. Sometimes copy is not even like flow, like linear, right? Sometimes you just like put together pieces and assemble it piece by piece, and that's totally fine too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no one would be able to understand anything that I wrote if they looked at the first draft. Be like, this lady needs some CBD. She's obviously got some issues going on.
Well, that's the thing. That made me feel so much better, because I'm just like, oh my God, thank God she still is doing that like that. Then I can do it too then. Okay.
Absolutely. Sometimes we got to force our brain to get the stuff out, right? So
yes.
Awesome. Cool. So does that help?
It does a lot. Thank you, Rachel.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Put it in the forums, and we'll dig into it more.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Claudia. All right, I'm going to actually, here we go. Okay, I'm going to kick you out and put you back in. I have to figure out how to do this. Okay, we're good. Excellent. This is why I do the words, not the technology. Awesome. So yeah, like Claudia was saying, if you've got real stories, that's always going to be your greatest asset. So don't worry so much about the structure or the offer, especially when you're doing advertorials, because advertorials are mostly about this content, or copy disguised as content, right? We want it to be very heavy on the content, the good stories, the value, the interesting stuff, the infotainment. And so if you've got that first, write that stuff first without even an agenda, even a thought to the copy and the sales itself. You can always bring it back around at the end once you've gotten out that really good stuff that's going to capture people and make that personal connection with them. So absolutely. Great question, Claudia. Okay, cool. We've got Edvin. So Edvin is a markets to contractors. So he helps contractors get more clients. And so he's asking about creating advertorials for local businesses. So this is a really good question. A lot of times we have like these big ethereal advertorials for either e-commerce or online businesses or industries as a whole. But what if you just want to like sell stuff or write an advertorial for the pizza shop down the street, or the local handyman, or a plumber, things like that? That is such a good question. And again, these personal stories are always going to be your best weapon, because if you can talk directly to the business owner, to customers, that's going to be so much more authentic, so much more real. And those people are basically going to write your copy for you. So I would say that local business is even easier and more powerful to use advertorials for than national stuff or online businesses. So I would start with that person's story. No one starts a business haphazardly. Like they may get to where they are like by figuring it out as they go along, but no one's like, I'm going to open up my own business and I don't care about it at all. Like obviously they've got a motivation, a why, right? behind why they started their business. So I would start there. I would talk to the local business owner and figure out their why, figure out why they started, and start telling that. And if they have any sort of success right now, that's a win. That's a cool story. Like maybe they were a teacher and they just felt so underpaid, and they felt like they were working their butts off and they were underpaid and they could never have any time for themselves. And they wanted to go into become a licensed electrician and start their own electrician business, because they wanted to have more time with their family and they wanted to be able to get out and work with clients instead of being stuck in the school all day. So that kind of stuff, you can easily pull out those stories and say how one middle school teacher ended up becoming the best electrician in Milwaukee or whatever it is, or award-winning electrician in Milwaukee, whatever it is. You come up with the angle, but whatever would make people who are interested in hiring that person interested in their story. So listicles are great here. So an electrician expert's advice for saving on your heating bill this winter, or like electrician secrets for saving on your heating bill this winter, things like that. Those listicles are always amazing. When experts are giving advice, you can feature that expert, that contractor, right? So you can do this for anything. So like, got a clogged toilet, here's what a plumber says to save you cash, things like that. Or how to make sure you're not getting ripped off by your plumber, things like that. People are always worried about contractors ripping them off, right? So anything that you can do to build credibility, trust, position them as this guru, this expert, this helpful, trusted source, that's going to be a win. So whether it's a story, a listicle, that editorial how-to style, that's going to be your best bet for local businesses, because that's going to make people want to seek them out and work with them, while also giving that value and that entertainment and that interesting content that's relevant to them. So really good question, Edvin. I see that you don't have your mic hooked up, but if you want to dig into this more, stick it in the chat, stick it in the QA, and we absolutely will. Okay, cool. Let's talk to Brian. So Brian, I got your advertorial. He is working on a health and wellness product. It's a knee sleeve. And so if you want to come on and talk through this together, would be glad to bring you on. Otherwise, I'm happy to go through it and give my thoughts. Don't want to put you on the spot. And I know that not everyone is camera ready or mic ready. So if you want to come on, let me know in the chat here. I'll bring you on. Otherwise, let me open up your advertorial here. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Let me bring you on as a co-host then. Apparently that's how we do it. All right. Welcome. Let me make you a co-host so that I can let you. Zoom keeps changing the rules on me. They used to just be able to make you turn your video on. Can you hear me, Brian? Let's see.
Do you hear me?
I hear you. Awesome. You should be able to turn on your. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I don't hear you, Rachel.
Oh, really?
I think there's
Okay.
something up with my mic. I mean, my speakers.
I can hear you. Okay, so that might be your speaker. So that's totally okay. Let's see if we can fix it for you.
Okay, I hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Excellent. And you should be able to turn your video on if you want to, but no pressure.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
ready, but, yeah.
That's all right. I am very, very rarely camera ready. Today was a fluke that I had a whole bunch of meetings. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you want to dig into the knee sleeve, but I want to hear, you said the avatar is yourself. So can you tell me a little bit about who you're writing this for?
Oh, no. The avatar is for basically like men over 50.
Gotcha.
And they're dealing with like knee issues. You know, they can't like squat at the gym. They can't like lunge at the gym anymore. Their knees are like weaker now. And so this product is positioned to help them with those things. Awesome.
Okay, I see what happened. It says the audience is me, but I think I only copied me, but it says men over 50. I was like, the audience is me. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let me share screen so we can look at your advertorial here. Cool. And are you writing this for a client? Is it practice, or what are you working on here with this?
This is for a client.
Okay.
Yeah, like an
great
e-commerce client.
E-commerce client. Fantastic. So I took a quick look, so we can just go through these headlines here. I really like what I see here, though. Like, this is very emotional. It's not only a veteran, it's a disabled veteran, and you're making that connection with the age, so that's awesome. I love the idea of runs lap around guys half his age. I mean, that, like, every old guy wants to be able to beat their son at basketball or run laps around the young whippersnappers, right? So that's really cool. I like how you made the 10-second fix. It's easy, it's fast, it's like a hack. This avatar especially loves those easy protocols and hacks and tips, right?
Okay.
So really great
That's
job
awesome.
with that. I also really like this picture because it shows exactly what you've described. And if you have that luxury of having a picture, I think something like this is great. Like, this guy's like in the lead, beating all these young people, and this guy behind him is like dying. So obviously he's got some secret. So I think this is a great picture that you've chosen here too. So awesome job. This one, crippled veteran is now squatting and lunging after discovering the 1,200-year-old Viking secret to age-proofing knees. I don't know. I think this is also a good headline. I like that you've got the 1,200-year-old Viking secret. I think that's really intriguing. It's curiosity. I like this age-proofing knees. I like how you've kind of named it and like given it it almost made it like a verb, right? So I really like that. I like that it's a crippled veteran. Again, it's emotional. People are like, how could this be possible? It's curiosity driving. So now squatting and lunging. I wonder if we could get a little bit more specific like that. So crippled veteran now squats 400 pounds or whatever it is. Just the more specific you can get, the better. But I don't think that's bad. If I was going to do anything to this headline, I would just get more specific.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Okay, so these are great headlines.
Thank you.
All right, I love this. I love these like story-based headlines. So I was about to be wheeled to the operating room for my broken knees. Then I discovered the 7-second fix. So I really like this. It tells the story. It's curiosity driven. The one thing is I was about to be wheeled to the operating room for my broken knees. Then I discovered the 7-second fix. So I like this. It might be worth tweaking this, that he was about to like maybe his doctor recommended he get surgery, because it's kind of the only thing I would be like, wait, so he like discovered this like while he was on the table, like going through the hallway or something. That's the only thing that like catches in my mind, where I'm like, wait, I don't understand like what this picture looks like. So anytime we can paint this picture where they can visually see the scene in their mind, even better. So I don't think this is bad. I think this is really cool, but maybe just tweak it a little bit so people aren't like, wait, I don't understand how he did this or what this could be. You want them to almost have the answer. So whether it's like their doctor maybe giving them bad news, or my doctor said I would never walk again until I discovered the 7-second fix, or something like that.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good. I like the story-based stuff. So awesome job there. Cool. This is a popular angle, and I love this angle. It makes me like, it's so much fun. So if you saw this like in the Agora world or something, it would always be like big pharma, right? Like that kind of thing. So I like the twist you've taken here. Big orthopedic companies everywhere are attempting to shut down this ex-Army man's discovery to age-proof knees. I think that's great. That's phenomenal. You could test different angles, like why doctors are trying to shut down this veteran's new age-proof knees, or whatever it is, things like that. Like you could test like different, like who's the bad guy here. I think orthopedic companies is good, because generally people, especially in this age bracket, they don't want to believe their doctor's a bad guy. They want to trust their doctor. So I think you've done a good job of like making like it's this company, it's this corporation that's the bad guy, not their doctor, not their orthopedic surgeon who's helping them. So yeah, good job with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And yeah, I love the Viking knee sleeve. Like that's so cool. Like maybe like this is awesome. I think this would be good. It's a little bit more direct because you can see that there's this product that you're selling here. So maybe you could make some sort of graphic that like is a Viking like wearing, like, you know how they wear like the leg guards when they went into battle and stuff.
Exactly.
Maybe have that there instead of this, because if this is great for an ad, but if it's for those more cold audiences, you don't want to like give away the pitch right up front. So maybe it's something that's more of an intriguing thing, just like you did with that first image where you were like, oh yeah, I got to hear the story. Maybe something like that would make it allow you to bring colder people in before they're like, oh, dude's selling me a knee sleeve.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. But this is a great, I mean, it's a great image for the ad itself or for the sales page for sure. Or further down. Cool. All right. So let's look at the copy a little bit. Okay, a few months ago, my doctor told me my knee cartilage had deteriorated. X-rays showed that my knee was hitting bone on bone. They all told me that I'd have to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. Yet miraculously, Carl Harris, 65, regularly goes to the gym and squats heavier weight than men half his age. So I really like that. I would say introduce Carl so that you know who's talking, because it's a little confusing when Carl's talking and then you're like, but Carl Harris regularly goes to the gym. So maybe like even just one line, like Carl Harris picks like, I don't know, Carl Harris squats down to pick up a dime he dropped with the ease of a 24-year-old or something like that. Most men half his age wouldn't be able to touch their toes or something like that. So like just something to introduce who Carl is, like he's 65 years old, maybe just right up front so that people can come in and not be like, wait, who's talking? Because anytime you can reduce that confusion, you're giving people permission to trust you that you're going to take them through the story and they don't have to think about it too hard.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's awesome. I like that you got the payoff right in there about the Viking secret. So that's good. Cool. And so bidirectional support, I like that you're introducing this solution. So maybe because that's like a scary word, like it's like a complicated word. Maybe you could dumb that down a little bit right after it. So it's about bidirectional support, he says, rolling his eyes, but that's just a fancy way to say back and forth or whatever it is. So like I leave it in there because now you've introduced this term to your reader, but you're also saying like, oh, but here's the easy way to understand it. And now you're smart too.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. I love this about the paratrooper. That's awesome. And how you connect it back to like his feet hitting the ground. That's really great. Awesome. So here we're saying, little did I know when I got older, I'd have to pay the price. So here, if I ever went for a run the next day, I could barely walk up and down the stairs. Just so we make sure we're sticking with the timeline, is this when he was a 33-year-old paratrooper or is it now?
Like older. Yeah, I guess the timelines are a little bit mixed.
Yep. So I would it's okay to keep it like that. Just be like, when I was younger, I could beat my body up and be fine the next morning. But now, even if I went for a run, I could barely walk down the stairs the next day. So you're making sure that they don't have to think. You want to do all the thinking for them.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Really good here. Okay, so I like everything that you've done so far. And then when you get here, it's almost like you are like, oh, that was your teaser. And now we're going to get serious. So I would make this headline something to connect Carl's story with your solution, because you want them to continue with Carl, right? So maybe things like Carl thought he was destined for a wheelchair until he discovered the secret to age-proof knees. And then you could say then you could lead into like, okay, now we're going to talk about you. So just one sentence or one headline to take them from Carl and transition, like bridge that gap there between Carl's story and the solution, just so they don't get jarred out of it right away.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yep. But then the rest of this is great, right? So as long as you're making that smooth transition, they'll come with you into this because now it's all about them. So that's awesome.
Is it okay, you think, to use that like signs of serious knee issues, or is that too like jarring, like you say?
I would say since you're now making it about them, so you're going to use that headline, that transition to move from Carl to them. I I would make it about them. So according to the Mayo Clinic, your knee problems could indicate a serious issue. Of course, with this stuff, you do have to be careful with ads. You can't say like you and your, if you're running like Facebook ads, but if you're running SEO traffic to this, totally cool. If it's on someone's website, totally cool. But if you have the flexibility to make this more about them. So your knee problems could indicate that you have a serious issue that could cause permanent damage or disability. So this one, you can change that to be, you could have serious knee issues if you've ever experienced any of this. And it's like knee swelling. They're like, I have that. I have that. So again, you're getting into their story and they're connecting now. And now by this time, it's okay that they've completely forgotten about Carl because it's all about them.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So awesome. So again, you can make it about them. So in 2021, with limited opportunities for treatment, you may be at an even higher risk of getting irreversible damage to your knees. So anytime you can put you instead of they, make it about them, it's going to be a lot more powerful for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, you got to be careful with compliance if you're running ads.
Compliance stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's coming from an email list or something, awesome.
Right.
So this is perfect. I like going back to Carl, but again, just one transitional sentence, like where like, and that's exactly what Carl thought, or whatever you want to do to transition back. And then you can go straight back into this. I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't let them get lost because it's a good story and it's really powerful connection that you've made. So make sure that you take them along and kind of hold their hand as they're jumping in and out of the story.
Right. Okay. I'll be sure to be careful of that, the jarring stuff.
But this is awesome. Like this would be cool as your main picture about the Viking thing. Like that would be really cool. Awesome. Cool. I think this is a perfect transition. I don't think that you need to like Carl doesn't need to meet Dr. Stewart or anything. I think you've done a good job of transitioning how he found these knee splints and knee splints and going into Dr. Stewart and the product. So I think this is great. You've done a great job in this transition here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I think this is great. I think if you're going to get super direct like this, it's better to have a little bit more of an aware audience. Otherwise, this kind of stuff you could save for the sales page. I think it would be worth testing, cutting off the story here or something, and then going to the sales page, depending on if your audience is super cold or if they're okay hearing about this. So this is really good sales copy. I would just be careful if you're writing an advertorial, you kind of want to end the story with like a helpful moral or lesson. And then you can just offer, if you want to learn more, go here. Otherwise, you're just sending them a really great lead to a sales letter here.
I see. One thing I'm curious about also is if the client wants to have like this as the product page, do you think that would work?
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think this is a really tight, small sales letter as it is right now. So it would be worth testing for sure. What you might want to test against it is what if you put in more proof factors like testimonials sprinkled throughout, or more CTAs, like CTA buttons sprinkled throughout, because that you wouldn't normally have on an advertorial, but would be quite effective on a sales page. So you just want to test like, okay, if I put more CTA buttons from top to bottom, or maybe there's like an ad banner on the side. Like when I used to have affiliate websites, I would leave the entire blog, the entire post just about advertorial, but I would have like a sticky widget on the side that as you scrolled, you always saw the ad for the thing that we're talking about. So
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Really good though. Great job.
Appreciate it, Rachel.
No worries. Yeah, definitely. And if you know what, I'd love to see it. So send it through when it's done, or we can talk about it on the next call too, if you want to go through this one or a different one. So great job with this.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Brian. All right. I have to figure out how to send you back. There we go. Cool. Okay. So I think we covered pretty much everything. If you guys have any other questions, then feel free to email me. Otherwise, yeah, let's dig into this more on the next call. So this is really good. Thank you so much, Edvin and Claudia and Brian, for putting yourself out there. I know it's sometimes hard to get people to look at your work and break it down. So